Labor have shown no sign of slowing down their expensive renewable energy crusade, even as gas prices and warnings of network instability climb. Families that are already finding it increasingly difficult to keep up with soaring energy costs have no relief in sight. So much for the promise of a $275 reduction in your power bill. Already, they're up by nearly 50% in some households since the government came to power, and about to grow even more. And while jobs in renewable energy are all well and good, an employee cleaning solar panels isn't going to earn what a coal miner does, and you need a whole lot less of them. That pain is going to be felt most in our regions. Joining me now is Liberal National Party MP Michelle Landry, who represents Capricornia, which takes in central Queensland's mining districts like Moranbah and Blackwater, but also communities like Rockhampton that depend on mining and the downstream investment that it provides. Michelle, thank you so much for joining me. What's the impact of uncertainty, both in the cost of power and in the security of jobs in central Queensland?
Look, Amanda, it is enormous. Obviously, our coal sector are very concerned about what's going on, and there's tens of thousands of jobs that, are in our coal sector. But the big issue at the moment is all these renewable projects. They are just going out full ball, and people are very concerned about what they're going to do. Those wind towers, there's 4 projects outside of Rockhampton, and one in particular called Moa Creek. They're talking about cutting 20 to 30 metres off the top of mountains, and this is remnant vegetation that's never been touched. So these 276-metre high wind towers can be built, so they'll be under CASA regulations. Now, what's going to happen to all that, the dirt, the gravel, the vegetation? It's going to go down onto the ground, and we're right, near the Great Barrier Reef here. It'll go into the rivers, and then it will go into the oceans. So there's massive concerns about this, and there's just not enough environmental regulations on these towers, and people are very concerned about it.
There's a real incoherence in laws that, on the one hand, don't allow a farmer to clear woody weeds and manage their property in a way that's sustainable, and that the reason for that that's given is that you've got to have green cover for environmental reasons. But on the other hand, it's fine to chop off the top of a mountain with pristine vegetation on it in order to put up these towers. How is your community trying to reconcile these confusing and conflicting laws?
Well, look, I don't think a lot of people actually know what is going on here, and that's why I really wanted to bring it to people's attention. So in the next 5 to 10 years, when you look out from Rockhampton, all you're going to see is wind towers, and it is very, very concerning. And as you say, the farmers have to deal with these strict regulations, and that is concerning for all of us. And, we had a meeting in Rockhampton recently with these blokes, and I had a lot of questions about this, from how they're going to be transported, what it's going to do to roads, about telecommunications. Where are they going to get all these workers from? Where are they going to stay? Because, 500 to 600 workers to build these things, where our accommodation's at zero now, and it's a massive concern. And these environmental conditions for these, because it's regarding energy, there's actually very little that they have to sign off on. So the state just signs off on it.
So in a sense, they go around the input of the local community by going direct to state. That's bizarre in many ways. You've talked about some of the infrastructure that would be needed to sustain this kind of wind farm development, but local road infrastructure is now on the chopping block too. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so we see that Catherine King has put out a review for all infrastructure projects for 90 days. This has been, it's going for 90 days. So we're very concerned that projects like the Rockhampton Ring Road are going to be on the chopping block. They've already taken it off the books. The federal government put $80 million onto it, but we had $800 million on there. And we're very concerned that these regional projects are all going to get the axe. And when you look at it in these regional areas, like the wealth of the nation comes here. We've got the most coal mines of anywhere in central Queensland, and we get a pittance. They've offered up $40 million for the hospital out of Moranbah, which that's fine, but it should have been done years ago. But things like the Rockhampton Ring Road, the Phillips Creek Bridge, it's extremely concerning that we just can't be assured that we're going to get this money. So people are very, very worried. And I really get sick of listening to Labor go on about, the pork barrelling by the Liberals and the Nationals. Well, that is absolute garbage. This is about people in regional Australia getting their fair share, particularly when we look at how much money in royalties, in taxes comes from these areas.
That's right. And if we want to have a decentralised country where people can prosper no matter where they live, we've got to give people the infrastructure they need to make it happen. Michelle Landry, thank you so much for joining me and for being a fighter for Central Queensland.